Hey Key Hive, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video because today I have another great one for you all. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to become a part of Key Hive, and let's get right into it. So today we're going to be talking about 4 things you need to know for your post-master's journey. Yes, post-master's is one of those things that isn't really talked about. People kind of think you get the degree and then you're just off to this great life with all this great money and helping people, but that is far from everything that you've ever known, okay? So I'm gonna give you 4 tips that you need to know so you're well prepared for the journey after graduate school. So I'm gonna be talking more about, marriage and family therapy because that's the expertise that I have. For anybody who's going into this field, so you know what to expect and aren't blindsided like I was, because I did not expect any of this. So tip number 1, post-grad clinical hours. Before you decide to go into a degree, especially marriage and family therapy, I want you to research what state you want to stay in after you graduate. This is very important because different states have different licensure requirements for marriage and family therapists, and I don't want you to go to a state thinking you only need 1,500 hours when you really need 2,000 post-grad hours in addition to 500 you get in the program. So I decided that I was going to go back to North Carolina, so I got 500 hours from the program, and then North Carolina requires 1,500 supervised clinical hours after graduate. What this means is that you have to get a AA MFT approved supervisor. You can hire them or you can have them supervise you. They don't have to be at your place of work, but you can hire them to help you get those clinical hours. You probably meet with them once every other week or once a week, depending on how many cases you have. Those help you build up the clinical hours for licensure, and you can't do it any faster than 2 years. So it's going to take you 2 years of postmaster's work in order to get fully licensed as a marriage and family therapist. So just make sure you research the state you want to go to, see what their hour requirements are, see what their class requirements are, because some of the classes won't transfer over, or you might need additional classes as well. So just be sure to research where you want to go so you know if you need to take any additional classes before you get into a program. Tip number 2 is the licensing exam. Yes, there's a national MFT licensing exam that I have to take. I'm actually going to take it in May. I just sent off my application to get approved to take it. At least in North Carolina, you have to take this exam first before you can start accruing hours for your licensure. And you can't even call yourself a marriage and family therapist in North Carolina. Like, you can't work as one until you have the licensure. So once you pass this test, then you become a LMFTA, which is a licensed marriage and family therapist associate. What this is, it gives you that credential that you're provisionally licensed, which is what is needed for a lot of jobs here in North Carolina. You need either the LMFTA or the LMFT. Those are the 2 things that are really big here. So right now, finding a job is a little hard because without that license, that provisional license, really can't find anything. So make sure you take the exam as soon as you can, because you don't want to lose any of the information that you learned throughout the program. If you wait 2-3 years to take it, you might not remember anything. So I wanted to take it within a year of me graduating, which is why I'm taking it in May. Also, if you don't get the hours that you need for the full licensure within 5 years, you have to go back into the program and take it again, take the entire master's again. And who wants to do that? No, I don't. Licensing exam is I think it's like 4 or 3 hours. If somebody in my cohort has taken it already, let me know if that's right. I think it's like 3 to 4 hours. It's about 300 questions, I believe, and they're multiple choice. Once I pass the exam, I will update you all and tell you how I studied, what worked, what didn't work, how the test was, what to expect. I'll do that all, in a few months. But taking the exam is the first step into getting those hours. So once you are getting close to graduation, definitely start studying if you want to take it sooner than, me, because I'm almost a year out and I'm just not taking it. All right, so number 3, A lot of people think that when you get a master's degree, you come out the gate making 50K, get all this money, driving fancy cars. I'm here to tell you that's not what's going to happen. You're not going to be making 50K out the gate. You're not going to be living this lavish life, because that's out the question. So what you need to expect is come down a few notches, because you're starting at the bottom. So you're an entry level MFT, which means you're going to be doing a lot of community-based work, a lot of in-home therapy, a lot of school-based therapy, a lot of kind of that gravel work that some people just don't really want to do, but it's kind of what you have to do before you can, up there with the private practices or the, not so strenuous work, because it's a lot of work on your car, mental health, all that stuff. So you won't be making 50K out the gate. What you'll probably be doing is doing billable hour jobs, which is I see a client for 1 hour and the pay is $25 an hour. But that's $25 per billable hour. So I see my client for 1 hour and I get paid for that 1 hour. I don't get paid for the drive time. I don't get paid for the notes. I don't get paid for, gas. Some people do get paid for gas, but it's not a lot, so it don't really matter after taxes taken out. You just don't get a lot of money. And billable hours, it can be kind of tricky, because if your client doesn't show up, you don't get paid. Even if you drove out there, you don't get paid for the hour. So sometimes your pay can fluctuate from pay cycle to pay cycle. So that's pretty much what you'll be doing. You can get lucky and get a job that is salaried. Originally I was going to go to Florida to live, and I went and I interviewed for this job, and I interviewed for the place in June, didn't get that position. The same place had another position open in October, so I went and applied again, and I got the job. Drove down there, got the job, and like maybe 30 minutes after I interviewed. But when I got the job, I wasn't excited. When I went to go tour the facility, I didn't feel comfortable. How we have that intuition as women. I didn't feel comfortable. Like, I just had this feeling in my stomach that this just wasn't the place that I needed to be. And I was kind of wrestling back and forth if I should just move down here and just take the job and just see how it goes, or if I should just stay in North Carolina and try to reapply here and find something closer to home, just because the pay was pretty good for starting out, and it had benefits and everything, and I'm about to be 26, and I didn't want to be without benefits, because then don't want to be getting in the hospital and I can't afford it. So I just had to wrestle back and forth. But then I talked to my parents. I just told them that I don't know if I want to go there anymore, so I decided not to go there and stay home. So now I am currently applying for jobs in North Carolina, and it's rough, but I got my plan, so God got me. So just don't expect to be making a bunch of money out the gate, because it's not going to happen. I'm sorry if you thought that, but you'll get there in time. It may take a couple years, but you'll get there. All right, so number 4 is, it's a rough transition, but you'll survive. So coming out of a master's program, it's different, because I've literally been in school for the past 20 years. There's pre-K, elementary, middle, high, college, and then master's. I went straight through every single stage of schooling, so I never had a break from school. So this is the longest break I've ever been out of school, and it's a little rough because I'm used to having a paper due here, or some reading, or some projects, or seeing clients, or internship, or graduate assistantship. I'm used to having a lot of structure. So now that I've graduated, it's not a lot of structure. It's not a lot of, oh, you got this due, oh, you got this due. It's more like you have to sit down and make yourself do it, or make your own schedule, so you're not getting off or you're being lazy or anything. Just because, I'm just used to school, so it's just well, what do I do with my time now? So, which is why I'm grateful for YouTube, because it gives me a hobby to do, because I couldn't just go to work and come home and not do anything. So YouTube is definitely a way for me to have fun and interact with a lot of new people, all my subscribers and people who have subscribed. It just gives me a chance to interact with different people and just have some fun. The transition is rough just because you're trying to kind of get your feet wet and figure out what to do. And also, if you're not constantly using, you know, the MFT language, you tend to lose it. I haven't really used it that much since I graduated. That's why I try to like read books or study for this exam, just to keep my mind active with this work. And also talk to my friends from the program too. I talk to them all the time, so they kind of help me keep me level and sane while I'm kind of going through this transition onto the next phase of life. That is pretty much all that I have for you all today. Hopefully this video is shorter than the last few. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.